Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of Autodesk Pro Forum. My name is Marie Olivares. I'm a senior industry manager at Autodesk, and I'm delighted to be with you this morning. Let's discuss the industry connection between manufacturers like you and other industries like building architecture, building construction, infrastructure, or other industrial projects. At Autodesk, we serve a lot of different customers, as you know, with a wide portfolio of different tools, from modeling to simulation to design and make and fabrication. And so here, I would like to insist on how we connect the different industries that we serve. We are going to focus on 4 groups of customers today, all manufacturers like you, building product and equipment manufacturers, custom fabricators who are serving the building industry with custom components, and then industrial equipment manufacturers or suppliers who are supporting factories, production plants with their products and solutions. And then finally, we'll talk about industrial machinery suppliers, industrial machinery manufacturers who are supporting large complex infrastructure projects. Could be mining, could be heavy construction like tunneling, also wastewater plants, for example. Let's talk about how Autodesk is uniquely positioned to help connect customers like you in the manufacturing space and the other industries that you serve. First, Autodesk, as you know, has expertise in both product design, building design, manufacturing, and also construction. So that's a huge advantage because we have different portfolios of technology and solutions, and we can offer a mix of tools for the different actors in those cross-discipline industries. We also understand very well how buildings or infrastructure projects or industrial projects are being put together. And also, Autodesk has been recognized as a leader in BIM with different tools that we have brought to the market many years ago. And so that's another advantage, an expertise that's unique compared to other software partners. BIM is not a technology, but it's a process. It's a way projects, so building projects or industrial projects, infrastructure projects, how they are being planned, how they are being designed, built, and also managed. There's a lot of data and public knowledge about the value and the benefits of BIM to the people who are driving these projects. The cost is one, being able to predict the cost better, it's high. Improving the schedule, so projects are being delivered faster, also with less errors. It's also a way with that digital workflow to optimize the design, so to make better decisions about what's going to be designed. And then lastly, for every part of the project and all of the participants, it's also a way to have more transparency and better understanding of what, again, is being planned or designed or built. Then another important fact is to acknowledge that the BIM, building information modeling, adoption is growing. It's a global trend, and we see more and more BIM mandates being put in place in many different countries across the globe. So this is going to create more pressure for manufacturers, industrial equipment providers that are working with construction, the construction industry, building designers, they are going to have the pressure to collaborate with them in formats and in languages that they understand, their client understand. So we see across the globe that there's more and more requests for manufacturers to have a capability and the ability to share data and collaborate on the same tools that are being used for BIM projects. Let's start now to dive a little bit into the different group of projects and customers I discussed. So first, let's talk about buildings. So whether they are commercial or residential buildings, there are manufacturers and fabricators out there like you whose business is to design and make product solutions, custom solutions for architects, building owners, structural engineers, MEP engineers. What we see is that the most successful building product and building equipment manufacturers are trying to move away from a transactional relationship with their clients where everything is pretty linear and they don't have a lot of input or a lot of influence. They're moving from that model to a much more collaborative approach where they want to be involved early on with architects, building owners, the building design or the construction teams. And we, Autodesk, what we're trying to enable is to offer a platform and workflows so that building product manufacturers and custom fabricators can do that early on, can share the information that's coming from their solutions to the building project teams and be able also to coordinate their work. So there's a lot of interoperability, data interoperability workflows that we have been working on, that we have delivered, and some of them we're continuing on improving upon. If I take the example of the Department of Sales and Marketing, in many of these building products, building equipment, building solution manufacturers, they're trying to showcase to their clients early on what their solution is going to look like. And whether it's an individual product, like here it's a water boiler, or whether it's a system of products, what they're trying to do is communicate that design intent digitally with the other stakeholders that they serve. So that's the first aspect of BIM integration, is the ability for manufacturers to share that data. And one intelligent way that we Autodesk support, or a better way, instead of building that data from scratch, is to use all of the engineering data, engineering models that the team has created for their design and manufacturing purposes, but to use the same data in order to create the BIM content that some of the clients are requesting and asking for. As an example, we have Reiners here. They are a great example. They make aluminum doors, windows, sliding systems, as well as some curtain walls. They design their products using Autodesk Inventor. They manage all their internal engineering data with Vault. And also, in order to better collaborate with architects, they also use Revit, so they can showcase to their customers how their products look like in a Revit environment, which is what many of AEC players use. Then, in order to grow, they also discovered that they had to improve not only internal communication, but also external communication. And what they've done is they have embraced Autodesk Fusion Lifecycle to improve their go-to-market or new product introductions and accelerate that time to market. Another example is a staircase company here in the US. They make fully customized systems of railing and stairs, fully configurable, engineered and manufactured to order. And in order to accelerate their sales cycles, have a better customer experience, they use Autodesk Inventor and specifically the iLogic capability, so to drive design automation and design configuration. Doing so, they've been able to accelerate from between hours to minutes how long it takes to quote to a new customer what the project that they are going to do. Another example is a curtain wall manufacturer has decided to move away from 2D to 3D, also with Autodesk Inventor, and to increase, in order to reduce product errors. They were seeing some errors, and they've been able to also reduce design delays when some of their engineers didn't have the right information at the right time and projects were slowed down. They do that using Vault collaboration and data management tools. Let's move away from buildings and let's talk about industrial projects, specifically around factories and facilities that are used to produce something, so production plants. If you are an industrial equipment manufacturer or manufacturing suppliers to manufacturing owners, there's actually very similar needs from a manufacturing owner compared to building owners. They all have to plan and design, build their facilities in the most efficient way, and also, more importantly, manage effectively operate their buildings and their factories with efficiency. What's interesting to note is the main difference, though, between the building industry, building owner, and a manufacturing owner is that in the factory, what's the most important asset is not the building itself, it's what's in the building. So all the machines, the equipment, the production line that usually has most valuable assets for the owner. The value, so why considering digital models, integrated and intelligent models? Because it helps making better decisions. In that case, you as a supplier, you'll be able to collaborate and communicate better. The owner can manage the changes because this model includes everything, not just the building models, but also all of the systems, MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, how each machine or each piece of equipment connects to the networks, the infrastructure or the utilities. And it's also a way to coordinate your piece, so the solution you bring to the owner, and make sure that there's no risk for you or for the owner. We have examples of how the Autodesk portfolio is being used in different production plants and factories, whether the client, the owner, is an automobile or car maker, like here in this example of a well-known American car manufacturer. Autodesk solutions help them accomplish two things. On their existing plants, they had the need to retrofit an entire plant to go from large SUV to go from small cars to large SUV, and they saved several millions of dollars by identifying collisions and problems digitally before the work was done in the field. And same with a brand new facility that they had, they were able to launch the first day of production ahead of schedule. Same thing, because they avoided a lot of interferences, a lot of rework that usually they ask their suppliers. So that's two examples. We also serve other industry, pharmaceutical, beverage, food and beverage, like here, it's a food processing manufacturer in Europe. They want to expand internationally. They have already, they have dozens of facilities in Europe. And what they're trying to do, they try to invest. So they saw that investing in their plants, and specifically with technology, digitizing all their existing assets, the buildings, all the machines, the production lines, would enable them to better connect their production teams and their facility teams, and also save operational budget on that. So they scanned all their facilities. They created building models using Recap, Revit. All the machines, the equipment coming from suppliers or their own, are in Inventor, and they do the clash detections in Navisworks. Another example, so these examples were to say that in that case, unlike if you're supplying, so if you're serving that industry, unlike the building industry, it's your solution. It's the machines and the equipment that are dictating how the building or the facility is going to look like. In the aerospace, another industry that we support, two examples here on the upper side, you have a testing engine test facility that is being done by Rolls-Royce. And obviously the size and the complexity of the equipment is such that they built the entire concrete facility is really built around. So there was no choice than modeling everything to, again, avoid mistakes that they can't afford to make a mistake when the construction starts on the site. On the bottom, an example you might have heard of, Airbus. They are using other types of technology to digitize. They used our computational design to find the optimum building design that would suit their production and manufacturing needs. So another area where we see the connection of the manufacturing world and the build space, but in that case, the projects are infrastructure projects, large, complex transportation, so roads, highways, tunnels, natural resources such as mining, where projects are very complex. You combine the civil infrastructure, road access to the site with all of the equipment and the machines that are actually extracting, for example, here, in that case, the minerals. And if you are the supplier for these machines, there's a conveyor belts and sometimes a whole system. Wastewater is another one. There's no better way to work with the multidiscipline participants, the other engineering service providers or the construction company or the owner than to participate to the digital mock-up of that project. The value is similar to the other examples. The goal is to allow intelligent data flow between the owner who runs the project, the designers, and the suppliers that they have hired. 3D visualization is a better way to communicate design intent or how the project will look like, but it goes beyond the 3D geometrical representation. It's also all the data that is part of the model. So it's more cost effective than using paper-based workflow. It's also a way to avoid problems in advance. And using that methodology, once these projects are in operations, it's easier to improve. Here in this example, so talking about connecting the two worlds, what's inside the equipment, a pump or a piece of equipment that has a very high level of detail for manufacturing purposes, but then being able to simplify that model to be used by the rest of the team or the other participant who may just want to have the footprint of the equipment to avoid every clashes, but they don't need to have all the information about every single valve or every single bolt, etc. on that complex piece of equipment. Looking forward, what we're trying to do at Autodesk is to reconnect some processes that might be disconnected today. So with digitalization and with technology, we want to make sure that no one on these projects is missing the information or working with outdated information, that there's no last-minute surprise that are going to cost a lot of money, a lot of rework, and most likely a lot of waste if these problems are caught too late. How do we do that? We said, so the areas of investments that we make is better data interoperability. It's something that we continue improving upon. Efficient project management, so data management. It's all about data, right? Project data. So we also have key initiatives and investment around data management, project management, as well as team collaboration. As you saw yesterday, if you attended day one, and you might see in other sessions later today, some of these solutions that Autodesk are offering are either on the desktop or in the cloud. We want to continue investing in the desktop, but also in the cloud, so that these industries can deliver projects faster and better. So with that, I encourage you to attend the other sessions of the day, learn about the tools we have to improve product design, so develop and make products of varying complexity. Learn about, what type of BIM collaboration we offer, how to exchange information with your clients. Last not least, the data management, how to connect your people, your department, different departments with your data and your processes. And more importantly, don't forget to reach out to Autodesk and to your Autodesk partners. Thank you very much. I wish you a pleasant day and a good rest of the forum.